The robbers hid themselves under the tarp on top of the truck, hoping to avoid the police search. But just as the truck was about to leave, officers blocked the road ahead. The two robbers lying on the roof instantly froze. They knew if this dragged on, they'd eventually get caught. The driver was about to open the back of the truck when one of them, Frank, suddenly came up with an idea. They quickly placed their heads and feet against the iron frame, ready to lift their bodies the moment the door opened, flattening out the tarp so no trace of their presence would be visible. Although the cargo hold looked empty, the captain in charge still wasn't convinced. He decided to climb up and check the roof himself. The moment Frank heard footsteps on the ladder, he whispered for Mia to get into position. Right as the captain reached the top, the two of them pushed hard and managed to smooth out the tarp just in time. But the captain stayed up there, suspicious and unwilling to leave. Frank and Mia were exhausted, gripping the iron frame with all their strength. Just as they were about to give out, the captain finally relaxed and stepped down. Yet at that very moment, something unexpected happened. Luckily, the captain had already gone down the ladder, so he didn't hear the small noise the two had made. So how did things get to this point? Not long ago, this group had carried out a daring heist. They slipped into a jewelry store and cleared out everything inside. The loot was worth billions. Because they had replaced the security feed ahead of time, no one noticed anything unusual. But one person inside overheard strange noises coming from the safe and secretly called the police. When officers arrived, the place was empty, and the jewelry was gone without a trace. Turns out the crew had dug an escape tunnel in advance. After using it, they restored it to its original state, leaving the authorities with no clues at all. Meanwhile, the robbers gathered to plan their escape. Frank decided they should split up. Two of them would take a yacht and leave by sea. The leader would stay behind to destroy evidence. And the older member, Walter, would drive the RV with Frank and Mia. But the police had already blocked the roads out of the city and began inspecting vehicles carefully. Inside one of the RV's storage boxes was the jewelry itself. Everyone held their breath. Fortunately, the officers didn't notice the metal box. Instead, they became interested in a ceramic urn. Walter explained it contained his wife's ashes. The officers didn't believe him and demanded to look inside. The tension grew heavier by the second. Suddenly, Mia grabbed the urn and ran, drawing all the attention away. Her goal was clear, to keep them from finding the jewelry. She was eventually caught, but she had succeeded in diverting the officers. Seeing the ashes spilled on the ground, they finally believed the story and had no choice but to let Walter and Frank go. They thought they were safe now. But another police unit had already locked onto them. The next day, when the group stopped to rest, they found themselves completely surrounded by officers. The RV was circled on all sides. But inside, the crew had already heard the noise. Before the police could react, Frank grabbed a heavy weapon and unleashed a barrage. The officers fought back, returning fire until the RV fell silent. The captain then ordered his team to cease. But when they moved in, the RV was empty. Frank and Mia had already slipped out through a hidden drain, crawling through the sewers. They emerged through a nearby manhole and climbed onto another truck, hiding under the tarp once again. That's how they managed to escape. Meanwhile, police tracked the leader of the group to a hotel. Frank and Mia barely avoided capture by slipping into a storage room next door. From there, they slid down pipes into the laundry room, changed into freshly washed security uniforms, and strolled out like nothing happened. Once safe, they ditched the uniforms and bought an electric scooter from a delivery worker, disguising themselves as couriers to continue their escape. By evening, Frank and Mia were hiding on top of a truck headed out of the city. Their two partners had also escaped by boat. Everyone rushed toward the meeting point, switching vehicles constantly, making it impossible for the police to track them. They believed freedom was within reach. But just as the leader and Walter tried to leave the city, they encountered a police checkpoint. Their identities were about to be exposed, until Walter spotted two bicycles nearby. They quickly grabbed them and slipped out through a side road. After riding for 3 exhausting hours, they finally reached the rendezvous. Walter pulled a key hidden under a stone, opened the gates of a secluded estate, and the two of them rode inside. At last, they were truly free. Their companions were already waiting there. Now, with more wealth than they could ever spend, they decided to live quietly under new identities and start fresh. And that's where today's story ends.